Penn State kind of reminds me a little bit of the Dallas Cowboys.
They are. That's exactly what they are. That's
Where
exactly what they are.
they
They
have
are
all this
they
attention.
are it's true. They are the glitz and glam. Everybody's all excited about Penn State every year. This is the year of Penn State, and then when the going gets tough, they turn into the Cowboys and they find a way to lose.
Welcome to episode 296 of Empty the Bench here on the Empty the Bench Network, presented by Playback. He's Zain, Bando. I'm Nick Morgasen. Follow us on social media at ETB Sports, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Follow the Empty the Bench Network at ETB Network, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ETB Network. If you can't watch on the video side, listen to wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Acast, all platforms we are available. Also, as I said, Empty the Bench is presented by Playback, playback.tv/ETB Network. In the middle of the NBA season currently, NFL Red Zone, March Madness when that comes up next year. I'm thinking about next year already. But a lot of stuff coming up on there, so make sure you check us out on there. Okay, we got a lot of big stories. We're going to try to do this a little bit shorter because we've been going a little bit longer as of late. So we're going to
try to tone down the hour and a half episodes as much as we can. We pack in a lot, but we know that you all have short attention spans, and we need to do a little bit better by keeping the pacing moving along. So we're going to try our best to do that moving forward through the end of the 2025 show schedule.
Yeah.
So,
and we got quite a few stories, so we're going to get right into them. But just to give you an idea what's coming up, unfortunately, another shooting took place in New York involving an NFL player, including my Jets. We'll break that down for a little bit. We'll recap Week 11, which I can't believe I'm already saying we're heading into Week 12 already in the NFL season.
Yeah, we're getting closer to Thanksgiving. We're only about 8 days away from the time that this is coming out. So, or I guess 6 days away from the time this is coming up, and 8 days away from the weekend. So it's getting, it's vastly approaching. So,
yeah, we'll talk about some injuries that happened. We'll talk about a benching that occurred, also New York football. We'll break down the AP poll, college football, Week 13. We have college coaches mocking schools.
And then losing right afterward. So,
which was hilarious. We get into the UFC card, UFC 322, which not so stellar of an ending.
Not so stellar of an ending, but I, on the other hand, compared to my failures this past week, killed it on predictions. We'll talk about all that. Overall, it was an exciting card outside of the co-main event, but we'll talk about that. We have a few other stories to get to, and then, of course, we'll end the show with our usual Thursday night football pick, which, for those of you who are very confused, for our purposes of this show, we are counting last week's prediction as a win. Of course, according to the football forecast odds, though, most of us were burned, unfortunately. So
by a half point, point, which is that happened quite a few times this overall week.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Ravens game, which was 7.5 point spread, and they won by 7.
Brutal, absolutely brutal.
3 locks lost on that game, by the way, during our progress. Yeah, and I'm mad at the Bucks. Well, I'm mad at the officiating in that game too, but I'll save that for when we get there. But let's get underway. Unfortunately, another shooting that took place. New York Jets cornerback Kris Boyd shot outside Sei Less, if I'm saying that correctly, on West 38th Street near 7th Avenue, New York City. I don't
absolutely horrifying, absolutely devastating. You have no words to describe something like that other than just horrific.
Yeah, it happened at 2 a.m., which is when it seems like a lot of shootings happen in the middle of the night. According to police, it says they did not identify Boyd as the victim, but he did get shot. He's 29 years old. The team later confirmed Boyd was involved in the shooting. They are aware of the situation involving Kris Boyd and will have no further comment. Boyd was shot in the abdomen outside the Sei Less restaurant after a dispute turned violent, with the gunman firing 2 shots.
Yeah, in critical but in stable condition as of the time we're recording this.
The sources said Boyd was with a group of friends outside the trendy hotspot when the dispute broke out, ending with shots fired, but it's unclear if he was the intended target. The sources said the shooter fled the scene in a BMW. Excuse me. But witnesses were uncooperative with cops. A second vehicle, a high-end silver Mercedes-Benz, also fled the scene after the shooting. This just sounds like a bad fight situation.
Well, a bad fight situation turned physical. I don't want to speculate, but I'm sure I don't know for certain, obviously, but when you hear those things, all you can think about is one guy saying, "Give me my money," and the guy refusing to do so, and then everything
kind of breaks, so to speak.
Kind of breaks loose. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, it says Boyd lapsed in and out of consciousness before he was rushed to the hospital, where he's listed in critical but stable condition. Cops said there have been no arrests, and the shooting is under investigation. Yeah, I don't know what to really say here.
I mean, the only thing you can hope for is that he's going to make as full of a recovery as he can. I mean, this isn't about whether he can play football again. This is whether his quality of life will even be remotely close to what it used to be.
So it says here that the restaurant said in a statement Monday that the shooting happened outside the premises after it was closed. So it wasn't even like I'm at a restaurant, I'm going to eat, and then someone does something.
Or he could have just been leaving the restaurant too.
No, it says that it was already closed when they were going there at 2 a.m.
Yeah, so, that changes things.
So it makes me wonder, like, was a shady deal happening, or was something happening that caught, or like you said, a money situation that went down that we don't know about?
I think we're going to find out. That's what I think.
Since the onset of the police investigation, it says that the restaurant's been fully cooperative with law enforcement and shared the appropriate security footage to assist in their inquiry. Boyd is currently listed on the injured reserve, which makes sense because he probably is going to be done for the year, if I had to take a guess.
Right.
I don't know. This is...
Well, he not only done for the year, he could be done playing football if his condition gets worse, kind of as I alluded to.
But here's what I don't get. If you're out, where is the Jets security? Because most of the time when these guys go out, wouldn't you want the team security there just in case?
Yeah, probably. And either he wasn't thinking about it, which could have very well been the case, or which would be hard to believe, but you have to assume this because people have lives outside of their workplace. But there's a chance that none of his security personnel were even remotely available. But then the question comes back to why even go out in the first place?
And I hate to say this, it doesn't matter if you're the 40th person or the most important person as an athlete on a roster.
Yeah.
You're still considered what do they call it? A important person, or
they say a public figure.
That's it. Thank you. I couldn't remember. A public figure. So when you're a public figure, you have to protect yourself 100,000 times more than the average Joe that walks around.
Right.
So this just sounds like a shady situation. Now,
it really does.
Could he have been accidentally hit in the process of this? We don't know. So,
and I'm sure, and this is no disrespect, but Nick, be honest with me. You're a Jets fan. If you saw Kris Boyd in a restaurant, would you know it was Kris Boyd?
I know who he is, But would I recognize him directly? Like you're saying, if an athlete came running by for 2 seconds and I looked at the face, would I notice?
Yeah, and it happened to be Kris Boyd. Yeah.
Probably not. And I'm a
Okay.
Jet fan, but like, it's not like Justin Fields
Right,
or
where he has a distinct look to him, and there's a million pictures of him and stuff like that.
Garrett Wilson or Brees Hall. Those guys I'm gonna notice right away. No disrespect, like you said,
Right.
but we have no idea if he was involved in this incident or if
We
if
don't.
he just got hit in the in a.
But that still doesn't constitute a good reason for why the shooter did it in the first place, though.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just
I
saying.
know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying generally. Just so people understand, we're not trying to let the guy off the hook or anything like that.
I mean, I hate to say this too, but would you file this under the Jets' luck of this season?
100%. It can only get worse before it gets better, but like they're continuing to go to levels of low that I can't even believe.
Now, let me be very clear. The only reason I say that is because they've had rotten luck this entire year.
They really have. Whether it's injuries, whether it's starting, I think it was 0-7 or 0-8, right?
0-8, yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
not having the coach not work out right away, like it's the whole conundrum. And then you look at the organization itself, and the organization is a dumpster fire. It hasn't made the playoffs in 15 years. It hasn't won the Super Bowl since 1968. So I don't know. It almost continues. I understand we're talking about life circumstances here, but it's like it's almost like it continues and it doesn't stop.
Yeah, and by the way, in no way, shape, or form am I trying to compare this to football.
Nor am I.
But I'm just saying the rotten chain of luck that they've had this entire year.
And this is as rotten as it could possibly get. This is as devastating and horrible as it could possibly get.
Because, and I'm going to say this too, that I would never wish a shooting on my worst enemy. Ever. Ever. I would never. I could hate someone until the cows come home. I would never wish for someone to get shot. Ever. That, you know how ridiculous that would sound if someone said that? Like, that would be horrible.
Well, thankfully, Nick, I only know sane people, and no sane person has ever said that. At least to me about somebody.
So it is what it is. I'm sure we're going to hear more about it, but I question NFL security. Like, what? These guys are not protected enough sometimes when they're out.
They're not, unless they're like super prominent, which unfortunately he's not. But that's what happens when you're still getting used to the NFL.
I agree.
I think he's around my age anyway, which makes
he's 29.
Okay, so he's a few years older. Still, though, it's a really bad look for everyone involved. And I just hope that he's okay. I really do.
Yeah.
Again, as I alluded to at the beginning of this segment, it's not about football. It's a matter of will his quality of life even remotely be close to the same ever again.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, let's move on. Let's recap week 11. A lot of spreads that were barely missed this week, would you say?
Spreads that were barely missed. However, on my straight up predictions, we did pretty well this week. We're recording this on the night of Monday night football, and straight up wise, not as good forecast wise, but for me, straight up wise, I'm 9-5 with one game to go. So I can't fully complain. I wish I did a little better against the spread, but yeah, as you just alluded to, a bunch of spreads that were barely missed. Obviously, Thursday night, that one was barely missed. There were a couple of other ones which we'll get to, but some thrilling and wacky endings. I guess we could start wherever you want, but there were some endings to some of these games where you were like, can this get any more exciting than it already is?
So, yeah, we'll start with Thursday just because my Jets played in Thursday Night Football. I mean, we all knew the Pats were going to win. It was just a matter of how much. Really, Patriots, though, like you couldn't get that extra point. Like, seriously?
Hey, just like I said last week, and we talked about it, I'm going to say it again. I don't know, man. I don't know who it is. I don't know who the secret human is, but god damn it, Vegas always knows, man.
I want to bring that up because Zain says this to me all the time, and he's actually right.
They always know.
So Vegas, like all the time, like when we do forecasts, we look at some of these spreads and we say, "There's no freaking way in hell that these spreads are going to hit." And then, lo and behold, the game ends, and we're like, "It's exactly on the number." And I'm like, "How? How do they know this?"
Just like the Rams over under that you and I got screwed on a couple weeks ago against New Orleans, I think is who it was.
Oh God, yeah, you're right. But I did say when we predicted this game, though, I said I didn't think that the over under number was sufficient enough to touch. I thought this was going to be a low scoring but a cover type of game. I was close, very close.
As was I. We both had New England.
But it is what it is. And now we find out that Tyrod Taylor is going to start over Justin Fields.
Or as the OG fans like to say, Nick, Ty God,
yes. By the way, can we fire Aaron Glenn, please? It's not working. It's really not working. And he doesn't know how to handle the New York media.
I think you and thousands of other Jet fans feel the same way. And I'm not a Jets fan by any means. I'm lucky enough my team is in rebuild mode, but they're turning things around fairly quickly.
Rebuild mode? What are you talking about? You're headed to the playoffs, probably.
No. I get it, but I'm saying going into this year, I felt like it could be a rebuild year, and the Bears are exceeding my expectations.
By far.
My point in saying it is, I don't know what it's like to be a Jets fan, but I'm sure it's extremely painful on a weekly basis to watch the same movie over and over and over and over and over.
And then to hear Aaron Glenn every week say, "Well, I'm not announcing my quarterback until the day of." Come on, dude, stop. Like
he sounds like Lovie Smith and he was trading back and forth between Rex Grossman and Kyle Orton.
That was a terrible quarterback situation too.
I'm aware. I remember. I was a kid when it happened, so I remember.
But you know what?
He used to pull. By the way, speaking of horrible quarterback situations, when he was in Illinois, it was a terrible stint in Illinois. When he was in Illinois, he would pull the same shit every week when Illinois wasn't going to be like, "Oh, I don't know who my quarterback
is."
Yes,
you know who your quarterback is. Stop it. Aaron Glenn does too. He just doesn't want to admit it. But the one bright spot in this game, Travion Henderson has 3 touchdowns.
Ohio State alumnus. He's playing well.
And Michael and I joked because on the Novig app, it was either over a half touchdown or over 2.5 touchdowns. And we said, "Oh, we definitely think he's going to score 2, but maybe not 3." And then what does Travion Henderson go out and do? He scores 3 touchdowns in this game and just completely owns the Jets in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah, he's a beast. I mean, it's him and Ramondre Stevenson, right?
Yeah, that is a sick running back duo.
Yeah, that duo is good. And I understand, Nick, we're in the middle of November here and a lot can change. But I'm just going to go on the record and say this now. I think the Patriots are potentially good enough if they get the right draws to go to the AFC Championship. I'm just gonna say it.
I would go a step further. I think if they continue to play this way, I think they could be a potential Super Bowl bound team.
Which would be a really unlikely story, but hey, in 2001 when they beat the Rams, nobody expected New England to go to the Super Bowl. So
speaking of Rams, I think that's another. We'll get to them in a bit, but I think unbelievable again that game. And when we get to that game, I want to talk about the media map, which you and I discussed for that game.
Sure thing, we can definitely talk about it because not enough of the country saw how epic that game was.
You said it was what, like 25-30% or something?
Barely anybody.
That was game of the year material.
I know,
but I'll save that. But so that game, Jets lose again. They're 2-8. Patriots are 9-2.
How many more games does New England have to win to clinch the AFC East?
I'd probably say 1 or 2 more, probably. at least.
So essentially, the Bills have to hope for a miracle to win the division, right?
Correct. All right. So obviously, then you had the game in Madrid, which thank God the international games are over. Thank God.
And thank God I can finally say that I won one of them.
Yeah, me too.
God damn it.
Well, I felt so good about that under because everyone, like, not our show necessarily, but a lot of people were saying, oh, it's an international game. Points are going to be scored left and right. Do they realize
No.
which two teams went to Madrid?
Two of the worst teams in football. Conferences aside, two of the worst teams in football on paper. I mean, what was the final score?
16 to 13.
Yeah.
I think the over-under was what, 43 and a half or something?
Yeah, a rematch of Super Bowl 7.
This game was terrible. And first of all, just full disclosure, as a football fan, I haven't gotten up for one international game this entire season.
I didn't even watch it. I just saw the final score and I was glad we won because we both had the under in the game.
And people were looking at me originally during the show and they said under. And they gave me the same excuse, which was that every game has been over.
Come on, guys. Those are two of the worst teams in the NFL.
I think you and I were two of the only 2 or 3 that took the under.
Well, no, and then a bunch of people took the Dolphins and they won.
Which I thought was a little bold, considering I don't know what goes on with the Dolphins as of late. But
right. Yeah, thank goodness the international games are over, though. You are right.
But they are talking about like 8 or 9 international games next year.
Oh, jeez. See, the one thing, and then I'll get off the international game soapbox here. The one thing that they need to stop doing is they need to stop putting divisional games in other countries.
Agreed. Totally. You and I are on the same page of this one.
Oh, it seems logical, but I guess the NFL sometimes they don't understand what logic actually is.
And by the way, can we not do the opening night in Brazil again? Like, can we not? Like, you want to do international games in the middle of the season? Fine. But don't do it on opening night. Like, I just think that's bad.
Well, the only exception I would say is if they did a game in London opening night, that'd be kind of sick.
The problem is the time zones would be a nightmare, though.
I know, but during the day, NFL football in the early September, people would watch that.
They would definitely watch it. That's not the issue. But I already read like they want to add. So Mexico City's going to be back in the picture now that Estadio Azteca finally got figured out.
Oh, geez. And that was the whole corrupt thing too, right?
Well, the stadium had issues. Do you remember during what was it, during COVID?
Yeah. But I thought there was something going on with the corruption in regards to like contracts with the NFL and stuff like that that took like a year to get resolved.
That was part of it. Yes.
Yeah. I thought I remembered that.
So let's see. The NFL will hold at least 3 international games being added. So one in Australia, which is the new one they're adding.
Which actually is going to be cool, I think.
Well, that's going to be played at the pitch, right?
Well, yeah, and I don't know if you know this, and I feel horrible because I don't remember who this guy is. But in a past life, Nick, let's just say when I was a little bit younger, I used to go scuba diving in the Florida Keys.
Wow.
And one of the dive buddy instructors who used to work for me, which I'm blanking on his name, he was a great guy. He was a Bears fan from Australia. And he told me that his dream was to see an NFL game in Australia, and my old friend from 2013 may have a chance to do just that in about a year.
Well,
so
I think we already had an MLB game in Australia, if I'm not mistaken.
We did a couple years ago. It was 2 years ago.
It was at a cricket, I think.
Correct.
And I think this would be the same thing. They would do it at a cricket stadium. And what was the other thing? Oh, they said the Madrid stadium was one of the most technologically advanced stadiums because they figured out how to grow the grass like from with under.
Yeah, and that's also the stadium that we'll get to them more in a little bit, but that's a stadium that the UFC wants to try to pursue too, is doing an outdoor fight at the stadium you're talking about.
And it's funny, like some of the people in the business were saying that the NFL just doesn't want to spend the money to do this properly, so they don't have to use turf.
Given that the NFL is $1 billion,
no, I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing with you that they have the money if they want to do this properly.
They have the money to do games in 30 different countries if they
Right. So
really wanted.
they're adding Australia, Brazil, which is coming back, and then obviously Mexico City, which was already, and that's going to be added to all the London games and the Dublin games and the Germany game. So we're talking about like 8 or 9 international games next year,
Yeah, it'll be
which is outrageous, by the
outrageous,
way.
but exciting for those people in those countries. They just have to hope that the teams they like are playing in those games.
And just full disclosure on the other side, it makes more work from myself when we do forecast because
That's right, because it's more clips we have to produce and
yeah.
more,
So
and we have to time them out exactly right.
yeah, well, that's not the end of the world. I do that anyway. But my point is, because you're not going to throw in international game clips into the mix of everything else. That makes no sense. So
You have to do it the week of those games.
right, so like we have to get them ready for 6:30 a.m. Eastern, so at least it has a 3-hour buffer before game airs at 9:30, and then it messes up everything. All right, I'm going to stop with the drama behind the scenes. Anyway,
That isn't too far behind the scenes because people who follow us on social know how our scheduling works.
it
So,
just it switches up the Saturday and the Sunday because usually the locks would go out on Sunday.
oh right, yeah, good point, good point.
So I have to push that back one day so I can. There's not 3 million clips airing in 2 hours.
Yeah, which is not good for the algorithm, and I've learned that the hard way. So,
Right. So let's move on to some of the other games here. Panthers Falcons. The only reason this is a story is because this news came out of it, which was that Michael Penix Jr. suffered a potential season-ending injury during Sunday's loss to the Panthers. This game was actually very good, by the way.
yeah, and as somebody who's very Big Ten biased, I'm a pretty big Penix Jr. fan from his college days. So to see him go down is a bit of a bummer. Because I think he's really talented. I really do.
By the way, if I'm not mistaken, both quarterbacks went down with injuries in this game.
Yeah, but can we just briefly mention though that the Panthers might be a wild card team by the end of the season? They look decent.
6-5 so far on the season.
Yeah, with an upset of the Packers. And
Yes.
isn't that a season sweep of Atlanta?
You just beat me to that. Yes, I was going to say that this is a 2-game sweep against the Falcons, with the first game being 30-0, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what a fall from grace the Falcons are,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
no kidding.
and Kirk Cousins in the game, the very expensive backup quarterback Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I know.
He can't throw the football anymore either. Like he looks lost.
Well, he's old in quarterback years though too.
And by the way, I'm just going to throw this out too. I don't think Bijan stays there full career.
I don't think so either. I think he goes to a legit team in about a year to 2 years. Could you imagine, Nick? We were just talking about this 10 minutes ago. Could you imagine a running back room of Henderson, Stevenson, and Robinson? Oh my god!
Ben and I were talking about that too. Where
oh my god!
First of all, I don't think there'd be enough touches for all those guys.
No, but could you imagine how bigger of a star he would be if he was there?
Can you imagine if Bijan was the starter in New England?
Imagine if Bijan Robinson was the starter for the Bears right alongside DeAndre Swift.
Well, I think Bijan would go up in that scenario.
I think so too.
But having that one you would have a better opportunity of splitting.
Right.
I think.
Exactly.
But
because Bijan can get the tough yards and DeAndre Swift is more of a downfield in space runner.
That used to be like in Miami when where they have Achane, and who was the backup for many years before he left?
Well, that's too old. I was going to say Ronnie Brown, but that doesn't make sense.
No, the guy who was in with the 49ers and then he went to Miami.
The 49ers. Oh, Carlos Hyde?
No, I'll look it up after. But they had like a good tandem between Achane and this other running back. But basically, or also in San Francisco, who was the backup for McCaffrey? Brian Robinson, right before he got traded.
Yeah.
Do you remember how sick that combo was for a while? And then Robinson was good to the point where they had to start him because McCaffrey was hurt.
Right.
So I don't know, but you're right. I think the Panthers have a potential to be a wild card team for sure. So we'll see where that one goes. Now the game I would
Nick, are you thinking of Jalen Wright or no?
no, that's not it.
Okay.
But let's move on to the game which really frustrated me this week because it was my lock and they fell apart. Bucks Bills for what was it for about the first two and a quarter quarters. The Bucks were playing really good football, and then they fell apart.
Yeah.
And by the way, I think they got screwed twice.
You do.
I don't think that was a catch on the sideline. By the way,
I don't think so either.
And the face mask that was called.
Unbelievable. I don't even, Nick, and I'll mention this later on. After that face mask, I don't know what a face mask is anymore.
Well, are you talking also about the penalties in Sunday night also?
Well, those, and then there's going to be a face mask called reference in college that I was physically in person for that dumbfounded me and 70 other people.
Oh, so, and then the DPI, which we'll get to in Sunday, which should have been OPI, in my opinion. But
no kidding.
I think they got screwed multiple times. Now, Josh Allen is Josh Allen. He figures it out. I mean, this guy's incredible. 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. This is like the 3rd or 4th time in his career that he's accomplished this feat. Also, James Cook is just a beast. The running back position. Like this guy, like if it wasn't for Jonathan Taylor and Saquon, like this guy deserves way more attention than he probably gets.
Oh yeah.
So I thought I had a chance there for that reverse lock for a small period of time. But of course the Bills find a way. And it didn't help that Baker fumbled and threw a pick in the 4th quarter.
Oh, Nick, speaking of chances, I'm just going to say it to you now because it's going to go final by the time this comes out. Just want to say congratulations on beating me head to head. I blew a huge lead. Now you can take your victory to the bank, and I can pack in my football forecast fantasy season because my team is toast. So
that was good.
Congratulations, you're up on me by 17 right now. So
oh my god, wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
Do either of us have anybody in the game? Well, of the day we're recording this.
Let me check. I don't think so, but let me look.
I think we both were cleared out. I don't have any Cowboys and
cleared out. So you beat me.
Yes, finally.
I'll drop to 3-8. You'll improve to 4-7. So
hallelujah! I won one for the first time in like 3 or 4 weeks.
And the reason why my team sucks so bad is because half of them are injured.
Yeah, I'm dealing with some of that too.
Congratulations. It's just way too early. You can already celebrate. Pop the champagne if you want.
I know it's been a rough fantasy season for me. So, also,
congratulations.
Thank you. Also, another low-scoring game, which we all essentially predicted. Texans Titans. What a gross and disgusting game.
Wait, did we have the under or Houston?
No, I had the under for sure. I mean, I think you and I both had the under.
Please tell me we won that game.
Well, the under did hit. Let's see. I'll tell you in a second because I'm looking it up. Yeah, we both had the under.
Oh, thank God. That would have been a disaster.
I find it hilarious though that some people like took teams in that game.
I would concur.
Because that game had like disgustingly low written all over it. Like, I don't think I've ever seen such a horribly played game. Titans, by the way, 1-9 now.
Yeah. It's as Cam Ward likes to say, we has.
Oh, I wasn't ready. I think I have that here. You mean
we keeping a buck right now? We ass
that.
Yeah, they still are, man. And I feel bad. I think I don't know if it's going to be this fast, Nick, but I think if I'm other teams, I'm calling to see what I can get for Cam Ward because it's clear Tennessee is just not using him the right way.
If I'm Cam Ward, I'm saying get me the hell out of here now. My career's going to get destroyed if I don't get out of here.
I'm sure his dad wants him more to the hell out of there than Cam himself does. You see his dad's facial expressions?
Yes.
When they show him, he is so miserable. He feels so bad that his son is in that situation.
What helps him in his favor is that he's actually a really nice guy.
He is. He's very humble.
So if he wants out, I'm sure they would find a way to do it if possible.
I don't know. I don't know how you feel about this, but him backing up Trevor Lawrence may not be a bad idea.
I think he's a starter, though.
I think he's starting caliber too, but
I hate to say this because I'm probably going to jinx it right now.
But I'm saying you have to be a starter on a quality team, though, or at least have a quality team.
I get it, but I kind of want him in a Jet uniform.
Oh, you take him?
Yeah, I'd take him in a heartbeat. I would take him. I think he's a young quarterback. He could take some time to develop. Now, would he want to play with the Jets? I doubt it. But I would love that if they could somehow pull that deal out. I just don't think it's going to happen. But that game was just bad, and somehow the Texans pull it out with a game-winning field goal at the end. But that game was bad. Bears Vikings, obviously the divisional rivalry. What'd you make of this game?
What did I make of it?
Yeah,
I mean, it was overall a decent game. I mean, these divisional games, you never know what you're going to get, but overall, I thought it was what it was supposed to be, I guess. What do you think?
I mean, way to drive down the field to give your kicker a chance, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and then the penalty too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me? Touching the football?
Unbelievable.
Like, if I'm the Vikings, I bench that guy who touched the football. If you don't touch that football, what are we talking about? A 40-ish yard field goal there?
Mm-hmm.
What became what? Like a 25?
Yeah.
You realize that 15 yards makes a difference there.
Oh, 100%.
So you got to just get back to the line and let that clock tick, because I don't think they had, what did they have, one timeout or any timeouts left at all that happened?
The Bears or Minnesota?
No, Bears. I think they had to run up to the line, right?
Yeah, because when they started the drive, they had all 3 timeouts, and then they used all of them.
Okay, so then the Vikings basically shot themselves in the foot, to speak.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I felt good about that because Johnny and I had the under on that game, and it was way under.
Right.
Did you think there was going to be more scoring in it?
I did.
I mean, the Vikings had to score 14 just to give it in the fourth, just to make it a game.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. That game was a little bit brutal, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Speaking of brutal, Packers Giants somehow pull it out. Of course, they only win by 7, not 8.
Yeah, that's going to happen in the NFL sometimes because, God damn it sure did.
Well, it also didn't help that Jordan Love got hurt, was in the tent. Josh Jacobs looks like he might have a gruesome injury.
Yeah, the Packers are in dire straits right now.
Even though they're 6-3.
Well, I thought they were 6-4.
No, I'm looking at it here. 6-3.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Because every team's
the tie was 6-3-1.
Oh, right. Because I was so confused. Wait a minute.
Yeah, right. Because that stupid tie. Can I say for 1 second? Here's my one soapbox here. Can we get rid of the ties, please? Like, if that's the case, do something. Let's have a field goal contest if you don't win it in overtime. Something.
Or just do what they do in college, Nick, which I'm sure you know.
Oh, the 2-point thing?
Well, no. So how it works is the first 3 overtimes they play from the 20, and you have to match score for score. And then once it's after 3 overtimes, then they do the 2-point thing.
But you're forced to go for 2, technically, right? In the overtime?
After overtime number 2, yes.
because they do that so that the game doesn't last 10 overtimes.
Right, which is what it used to do before they implemented the rule. That's why Illinois Penn State is the longest college football game ever, because it went to 9 overtimes, and then 1 year later they fixed it.
Now, when they say it goes 9 overtimes, they don't technically mean, they're just saying every time they switch the possession, they would call it a new overtime, so to speak.
That's how they do it. Yeah.
So it's really not 9 overtimes. It's really just extended possessions, so to speak.
That's correct.
But this game was kind of gross too. Obviously, because Jacobs went out. Jordan Love had some incredible passes, and then he looked really ugly at some points during this game. Jameis Winston actually looked like he was holding his own for a little bit, and then obviously the tuck rule fumble, and I don't know. The Giants are toast, big time, 2-9.
Oh yeah, totally.
They're gonna need a full regime change over there. Then you had Steelers Bengals.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers finally got back intact against a terrible Bengals team.
Got back intact big time, and to get a win in the division is always good. The bad news, though, is it looks like Mason Rudolph is going to be starting for at least a little bit now. So,
with the offhand wrist injury.
I'm just going to say this now, and I to be determined whether I'll physically be there or not. I think the Bears beat Pittsburgh this coming Sunday.
I think that's going to be an interesting game. I think you're going to see that go back and forth all game. I
think so too.
But not surprised. The Bengals are a shit show, big time.
Oh, for sure.
And what's his name didn't play, their defensive star.
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't know why I'm forgetting his name all of a sudden.
TJ what?
No. I'm talking about for Cincinnati.
Oh, for the Bengals. Henriksen?
Yeah, Trey Hendrickson didn't play. Yeah. So that was a big deal. Obviously, we'll scroll over this game fast, but holy crap, Chargers!
Yeah, not good.
Like you're
huge letdown spot for all of us because they were 2.5 point favorite. I think is what it was.
Yeah, but 35-6 Jaguars. Like, are we getting punked? Like, what happened there? Like,
I don't know. It's the NFL, man. It's unpredictable. So
but you can't lose 35-6 to the Jaguars. You just can't.
I know that.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Herbert had 3 interceptions in this game, or
3 interceptions. One of them was almost a pick 6, and then the other 2 were just ugly.
All right, now let's get to the game where I'm surprised. Let's talk about this media map for a second before we talk about the actual game. You and I were both shocked that Seahawks-Rams was not shown to more of the country.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was only shown locally, and in my market at least, we were stuck with the single header on Fox because the Bears came in to be shown first, and then we got Kansas City and Denver in the late window on CBS. So I was still able to see the game, of course, because obviously we have Red Zone on Playback, and then I also have Red Zone personally, so I was able to see it. But tons of people were upset that they couldn't watch it because that should have been America's game of the week. That arguably could have been flexed to Sunday night, and I would have been okay with it. But I think it's too early to flex games right now. But nonetheless, though, it was a game that should have been seen by more people.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me wonder, how Cowboys. What is it? Cowboys Raiders is in Monday night.
Oh, people are livid about that.
That game is going to be an absolute trounce fest.
Oh, yeah.
by the time we talk about it next week, I mean, I could see that being like a 20-point rout or more.
I can see it too.
Great game. I mean, it wasn't a high-scoring game. I think the under actually hit on that. Yeah, the game was 48.5 over under, and it was 40 points total. But obviously the Rams did not cover. Seattle's defense actually kept them in the game for most of it. But the Rams are just resilient, man. Like they just find ways to win games.
Oh yeah, they're resilient, and that's why they're the Rams. I think they have an identity to them, kind of like the Bears, a never say die attitude, to where they're just never out of any game they play. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I mean Stafford, like Michael said during forecast, I think potential MVP. Yeah, I think so.
He's in the conversation without a doubt.
We'll quickly scroll over the next game. Niners, Cardinals, nothing really to talk about there. That's
nothing really to talk about there, but it shows that when the 49ers are healthy, they're actually good. So,
yeah, that a complete rout. Brock was back on the field playing. If I'm not mistaken, McCaffrey had 3 touchdowns in this game, I think. So not much to talk about there. And then obviously the big lock of the week for forecast, Ravens Browns not covering.
No. Very disappointing,
rough.
but typical Browns fashion, looked good in the first half. Pass defense imploded in the second half. I mean, my goodness, I don't understand it. Those fans in Cleveland, I have to give them credit. They're really sticking it through, but geez, they cannot put a complete season together to save their ass. And it looked like, and I'm sure you noticed too, that for a little bit there, Dylan Gabriel was actually playing halfway decent.
And then he had the head injury, and then you end up with Shadur Sanders on the field.
Well, technically, I'm gonna help you out. Technically, you shouldn't say it's a head injury unless you definitively know it's a concussion or not.
No. They said I'm not. No. They said that they were taking him in for a head injury.
Oh, okay. I just know that when covering concussions, you try to stay frowned upon of head injury, but for whatever reason, announcers still do it. And the reason why I know is because I took a concussion course. Oh, I know what the terminology is, but
at least for the game's sake, they said they were going in for a diagnosis of a head injury. But
okay,
he looked lost, Shadur, out there. He's not ready. Now, I don't blame him because apparently he didn't take any reps with the first squad whatsoever. So what are you expecting from this guy? He's not going to take reps with the first squad.
What you got is what you expect.
By the way, he needs to learn to escape the pocket when it collapses.
I know.
He was taking sacks left and right. I'm like, dude, get out of the pocket.
I know.
But also Lamar looked terrible in this game.
Oh yeah.
Taking more sacks than I've ever seen him take.
Oh yeah.
But it is what it is. Chiefs Broncos, which a lot of people were anticipating to be this high scoring affair, 22-19. Everyone was expecting when Mahomes hit Kelsey for that touchdown that the Chiefs were going to come roaring back to win this game. But I think Bo Nix said, hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer indeed. And a big AFC West win for the Broncos. That definitely shakes things up a little bit.
And by the way, when we go back at the end of the year to look at some of the takes we had, I had said that don't be shocked if the Broncos win this division this year.
And now it's looking like it could happen if they keep rolling.
They're 9-2. They're 6-0 at home. Actually, that means the back half of their schedule is going to be on the road, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, probably.
But this team is unreal. Like, they are playing such a good... And this is without Surtain, their big defensive guy.
That's insane.
Imagine when he comes back, what that team is going to be.
They'll be legit. I think I'm going to go as far as to say they'll host a home playoff game in January.
Well, at 9-2, oh yeah, they definitely will. The way this is going, if they win the division, they're definitely going to. But I mean, do I trust them to make a full run all the way through?
No. They'll probably. It'll probably end up being that they will host Kansas City. This is just a prediction. They'll host the Chiefs and they'll lose at home to Kansas City in the playoffs.
So you think even with them now being 5-5, do you think, and I heard this on the radio the other day, I'll make this quick, is people are saying they've become that team now where they say, all right, that's cute. The regular season, we just got to get in.
100%, because they're a different team in the playoffs. You can't pick against them.
But I just don't think they're the same team anymore, though.
Right. Okay.
So Mahomes does not look good this year at all.
This is the worst year in a long time.
Kelsey is just old and can't catch everything anymore, even though he had 2 or 3 spectacular catches in this game.
Right.
But they just don't have the same amount of weapons anymore they did when Mahomes was winning some of these Super Bowls.
Right.
But I got to give Bo Nix some credit. He's playing good football. And then obviously Sunday night, this had referee errors all over the place.
Yeah, errors all over the place, but can we at least agree the better team won the game, though?
It's hard to put the Lions down, though, because they're a really good team. What I do agree with is that the Eagles played better in this game for sure.
They did, especially in the fourth quarter.
But where they are without the supposed DPI penalty?
Probably not. It probably goes to overtime, and who knows? Maybe they lose.
Right. Once you get to overtime, anything goes. But
and that's one of the reasons why I took Detroit, is because
most of us did.
I didn't know what Eagles team was going to show up, even though they were at home, because they barely squeaked by Green Bay.
By the way, that was a complete 0 for our whole show. By the way.
Oh, the Green Bay game or the
Lions Eagles.
Oh, gee. Oh, wow. Okay.
Because no one took the Eagles. It was either Lions or over. Everyone took.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's brutal. I guess that's our own. Well, no, we had a few of our own bad beats this week, but that's pretty bad.
But I remember saying, because people kept saying, it's going to be loose game. And I'm like, no, it's not. I was the one who actually said, I don't think this is going to be as high a scoring as people made it out to be. So
you want to roll along on here as we're getting close to the hour mark?
Yeah, let's roll along. But again, just one last thing I want to say. I thought Chris Collinsworth, who can be really annoying on the broadcasts,
actually did a good job, right?
And he actually was saying, how the hell can that be a DPI?
Well, because he knows, because he played in the league and he played.
No. I'm agreeing. Like he said, how the hell can that be a DPI? If you look at it, AJ Brown is pushing off.
Yeah.
How can that be DPI?
If anything, there should have been 2 flags and the penalties should have just offset.
Yeah. Because then maybe that ball's not, or maybe that penalty doesn't happen, and then
I would have been okay with that.
Yeah, that would have been fine, but poorly officiated game. Okay, moving on. Let's go to the AP poll, which I don't have up at the moment.
We can take a look at it. There's some issues that I have with this week's, but let's take a look at it.
Let me grab that quickly. Okay. So at the top, we did have some movement at the top, like the very top of the AP poll. So obviously the first 3 teams did not move. That's not a surprise. So Ohio State
and Indiana was off this past week, so of course they didn't move.
Right. So Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M all stayed. Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas Tech, and Oregon and Oklahoma all move up.
Well, Oklahoma moved up because they upset Alabama. That was gigantic.
Oh yeah, that's right. Notre Dame is at 9.
Which people are livid about that.
I still think that's wrong, by the way.
Yeah, I think so too.
Alabama's now at 10.
Which I'm not sure if you know this, Nick, but Alabama needs to win the Iron Bowl against Auburn, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, to have a hope at going to the CFP. Because if they lose that, they're not going to put in a 9-3.
Wait, I was going to say that's 3 losses, and 3 losses is death in the CFP.
Yeah. So
BYU 9-1 at 11. Still don't like that. I think they should be higher.
A lot of people don't like that. You're not the only one.
They played really good football this past Saturday. Also,
they really did. Did you watch the game?
A little bit.
Game.
Yeah.
I could tell you have an affinity for them as the season's going on. You're starting to pay attention to all the disrespect that BYU's getting. So
I think they play good football. I think it's not fair that a Notre Dame, which gets all this attention, is.
I agree.
And I don't know if did you see the funny tweet post I shared in Slack that I tagged Johnny from Chuck Todd?
Yeah, that was funny.
Now, you would know better than me how much of a grain of salt you could really put on that.
Can you reread the tweet to me? Let me see if I agree with this take or not. I don't know if I respond.
I have it right here. So he wrote. Now, let's be clear. Chuck Todd is a news guy first, not a sports guy. He did Meet the Press on NBC and all that stuff.
Yeah. I've heard of him plenty.
So Notre Dame's playoff chances should be in bigger trouble than Miami's. Number one, they lost to Miami, and a game that was always in Miami's control with misleading final. Two, they just faced two teams who choose not to compete at 100%, Navy and Pitt, and they shouldn't benefit from not having serious conference foes. Three, good wins matter more than good losses. Thank you. That's the one I agree with. And there really isn't a strong case for Notre Dame. Discuss.
I think most of what he wrote is correct. I really don't think there's much of a case for them really at all. I mean, their only good win of the whole year, and this isn't to knock them because they're a good team, but their only good win of the whole year is USC. And we'll look at what USC is on the verge of potentially doing. They're potentially one of four possible Big Ten teams to make the CFP. So I don't think Chuck Todd is all that far off.
But the third one that he says, good wins matter more than good losses. That goes back to the system I'm talking about, though.
I agree.
Where if you get good wins, that should matter more than, I lost to a top 5 team in the rankings. That should be ranked more than a BYU team that's 9-1.
I agree. Because all BYU is doing is playing its schedule. So
if you just made a conference, then you wouldn't have to worry about which losses mattered more than others.
Which is the 4th week in a row you're mentioning this, by the way.
Because I think it matters.
Okay, can we keep going with the other teams, though?
Yeah. Vanderbilt at 12. So everybody moved up. So BYU moved up to 11, Vanderbilt to 12, Utah up 2 to 13, Miami up 2 to 14. Let's see. Georgia Tech, which is also 9-1, went down 1. USC's 8-2 at 16. Texas, yeah,
because Texas lost.
They got destroyed, big time.
Yep.
That situation's looking worse and worse by the day.
No,
by the way,
I know.
Arch Manning. I mean,
yeah,
he looks lost out there. Michigan 8-2, so 18. Virginia at 19. Tennessee at 20. James Madison up 3 spots to 21.
Mm-hmm.
And then just some other miscellaneouses at the bottom. North Texas 22, Missouri 23, Tulane at 24, and Houston rounding it out at 25.
Yeah, I don't like the bottom, Nick. I really don't. I think Illinois deserves to be in the bottom 20.
They got more votes this time around on the others receiving votes.
No, I know. How many receiving votes was it?
31.
Yeah,
second most.
Yeah, if they beat Wisconsin and Northwestern, they should be ranked going into the bowl game, I think. I don't know though. I just think some of those teams at the bottom have played far less challenging schedules than Illinois has when Illinois played literally the number 1 and number 2 teams in the nation. I feel like that should count for a little bit, but that's just my opinion. And even people who don't cover Illinois or follow Illinois agree that Illinois is being a little bit disrespected near the bottom. So,
well, like I said, play a conference schedule, win your games, then you don't have to worry about what wins and what losses mean more than wins at this rate.
I agree, but it's bad when Brett Bielema is on the Twitter tirade trying to defend his 3-loss Illinois team, though. So,
well, that pretty much knocks them out of the CFP, though, right? Because
essentially, yes, barring tons of craziness. Yes.
So now, remind me again what their 3 losses were.
They lost to number 1 Ohio State, number 19 Indiana, who's now number 2, and they lost to number 23 or 20 number 23 Washington, I think is what it was.
Okay, so so according to this fluky system, because they make it a big deal whether you lost to ranked teams or not.
They lost to 3 ranked teams.
So if they're going to do the same thing to Notre Dame, where they're just going to say, well, they lost to tough opponents and whatnot, and that's why they're higher. Why isn't Illinois being treated the same way?
I agree. That's what tons of people are saying. I agree.
Why? Because Notre Dame is a bigger brand than Illinois? Is that why?
No. That's why I'm saying I agree with your question.
No. But I'm just saying, is the reason Notre Dame is getting that treatment
100%.
So we got to redo this system. I don't know how, but they got to redo this system. All right, let's talk about mocking gate here. Shane Beamer mocks Texas A&M. And then surrenders a 30-3 lead in a loss.
Yeah, so South Carolina has imploded. They're now 3-8. A complete disaster. Less than a year ago, they were a possession away from beating my alma mater in the Citrus Bowl, and now they're nothing but irrelevant. And now they're more known for what's going on off the field than what's going on the field. So not only did Shane Beamer mock Texas A&M, but one of his receivers, Nick Harbor, I don't know if you saw it. You sent it to me, I think. Nick Harbor scores a touchdown, and then a state trooper shoves him. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe that.
That was one of the weirdest moments of all time. By the way, you're talking about with the cop, right?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, he was taken off the game, right?
Well, no, he was taken off of his game day assignment permanently.
Well, no, but they tugged him out of the game as soon as that.
Yes.
You're a cop. You're supposed to stand there and stand watch during the game. Why are you getting into a fight with the players?
Because he thinks he wants to be a big old tough guy, which is not his job.
I don't know, but this was kind of a bad look that you mock a team and then you lose after having a big lead.
Right.
Like why? Like what are you doing? Like what are we doing here?
Right, exactly.
But I don't know. It is what it is. All right. We had a feeling this was going to happen at some point. The rumors are already out that James Franklin is close to inking a deal with Virginia Tech. Are we really that surprised? I'm not.
No, I'm not surprised at all. What I am surprised about, though, is I just think people are still harping on him for his time at Penn State, and I don't understand why people just can't be happy for him that he's going to have a fresh start somewhere to try to rebuild another program. That is what he does. If you look at his coaching history, all he does is rebuild programs. He rebuilt Vanderbilt from nothing into something. He rebuilt Penn State into being a consistent Big Ten winner on a yearly basis for a decade plus, and he's going to do the same thing with Virginia Tech, assuming that he signs there. So, I don't know, man. I think after the dust is settled, I think he gets too much of a bad rap. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good coach. I just think coaching at the highest level is really difficult, and he's one of the coaches that's faced a good brunt of it. So,
can I give you a reference that I think of right now, which is Penn State kind of reminds me a little bit of the Dallas Cowboys.
They are. That's exactly what they are. That's exactly what they are.
They have all this attention.
It's true. They are the glitz and glam. Everybody's all excited about Penn State every year. This is the year of Penn State, and then when the going gets tough, they turn into the Cowboys and they find a way to lose the biggest games of the year every year because they always lose to Ohio State and they always lose in the playoffs. It happens all the time.
Because everyone says, "Oh, the big bad Cowboys, they're going to win the Super Bowl." The blah 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 blah, and then they completely throw the season away. like they do every single year.
Right, exactly.
But Jerry's, I got all this money and look at all the attention we have. That's Penn State too.
Yeah, but James Franklin doesn't go out and do the rah-rah thing that Jerry Jones did.
Well, no, I'm not comparing James Franklin to Jerry Jones. I'm just saying Jerry Jones would go out and look for all this attention. Like Penn State goes out and looks for all this attention. There's nothing to show for it.
Right.
So,
and it's more so attention that's built by the national media, though.
That's true. You're
it's
right.
less about them coming out and trying to overhype themselves and stuff like that. I don't know.
No, I think you're right. All right, let's move on here so we can get to the rest couple of topics. Let's talk about UFC 322. What a horrible way for that fight to end.
Yeah, this was not the fight that I was expecting at all. If you guys, if you guys don't know by now, there's a new UFC welterweight champion. Jack Del Menela's 18-fight win streak is over. Islam Makhachev, new UFC welterweight champion, has now won 16 fights in a row, tied Anderson Silva's record for the longest consecutive winning streak in UFC history. I mean, he did what he needed to do. He used his Dagestani wrestling base. He took him down multiple times. He elbowed him. He didn't really try to finish him. It was a very conservative win for Makhachev because he usually submits people. I thought he would win by submission in round 3, but it went the full distance. But overall, though, the better fighter won this one, and I think he has bigger and better challenges moving forward. This is no disrespect to JDM, but I just think the pressure to pull off a huge upset was too much, and it's clear that Makhachev, at least in my view, is the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, and I don't think it's even close. So,
I mean, they did a pretty decent job hosting the card at MSG, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
yeah.
I think they got to do more there. I think they got to get there more than once a year if they can.
I think so, too. I just think probably the site fee is so expensive that they're not willing to do it more than once with how many events they have. So I don't know. What did you think of the fight, though?
I thought the fight was pretty good. I wish they would put even more bigger names on it every time they go to New York.
Well, they kind of do, though. I mean, Jon Jones was on it last year. This year it was Makhachev.
But I'm saying I want them to flood the card at MSG.
Oh, okay. So you're saying like to stack it more. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like New York, world's most famous arena, as they say, like it's the biggest. It's one of the biggest to hold the fight card in. Like, make it worth the while for people who are going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy tickets.
So you're saying screw it and just put 4 title fights on the card and make it like a spectacle.
Yeah, because how often do you go to New York? Once, if maybe you're lucky, twice, maybe.
New York, it's usually once a year, and what they'll do is they'll do fight nights in New Jersey. They'll do one pay-per-view in New Jersey, but outside of that, New York is a tentpole event that's only once a year.
I mean, no offense to the fight nights, but everyone is always looking forward to the numbered cards when they come to New York. Like,
yeah, I mean, I can attest to someone who's gone to both. The pay-per-views are definitely feel bigger. That's for sure.
So I'm saying they should go all out. Like, give me 4 title fights on an MSG card. Do you realize how many people would show up to those if they did that?
Oh yeah, and no one would show up late. Everybody would show up for those fights.
Do you know how much media requests you would probably get for that type of thing too?
Yeah,
like,
I probably would end up getting denied. That's how much media there'd be.
I mean, like, do they go to LA? Do they go to LA at all?
Yes. Yeah, they went to the Intuit Dome in January. Yep.
Same thing. New York and LA. They should stack cards in New York and LA, knowing that it's big media.
And by the way, Islam fought in LA. That was Islam's last fight. It was in January. So
they have no excuse, knowing that they have a massive media central in both those locations. They should just build the cards up because they know they're going to get the attention regardless, knowing that the UFC is there. So, like I said, another unfortunate situation where the fight ended that way, but we'll see what happens. What's the next card coming up? 23?
UFC 323, which is your guy Marab. He's fighting in Vegas, and he's fighting Peter Yonigan. It should be a good fight.
I think I've heard both those fighters. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rob beat Sean O'Malley, Nick.
Oh, O'Malley.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
I haven't heard much from him since he lost that fight embarrassingly, right?
He's taking a long time. He's taking a long time off, and he's holding out hope that he can be on the White House card too.
Oh, that's not happening.
You don't think it'll happen?
No. Has he? Dana looks at performance, right? That's how he's going to determine this card.
Yeah, but Sean O'Malley's a big star. You don't think they put him on that?
Didn't he get embarrassed the last 2 times he went out to fight though?
Yeah, and he lost the same guy twice too.
Right. That's why I couldn't remember. But like he got embarrassed twice.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't even stay up, if I remember correctly, right?
During the second one, yes.
God, I don't know. Speaking also of the UFC, Dana White responds to Jon Jones. This was like ass kissing 101, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He went back and reverted to his old ways. He called Jones the greatest of all time, which of course he's going to say that, but
like, dude, come on. Like, really? After you obliterated him for the way he acted? Like, and I get it. He had every right to obliterate John because what was he going to pay him? Like $33 million to be on that card?
That was the number that was rolling around, although the UFC never actually confirmed it was 30 million. It was just reported as such.
I'm going to make a pretty safe bet that it was in that ballpark somewhere. Now, Jon Jones is a head case. As much as he comes out and says, "Oh, I apologize to Dana," and then Dana comes out and says, "Well, he doesn't have to apologize to me. He's the best fighter." This is like ass kissing 101 going on here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't know who to believe at this point.
You can't believe either of them now because some of the stories irrelevant. It was almost like it was a.
I feel like what you said before we started the show, where you said, like, is this like a spectacle like that they told Dana to put on because they're trying to build up like drama intake to see if they can make it, like eventually he'll end up on the White House card somewhere.
Which they did a great job of it because the media ate it up, and as did I. I've written too many of those stories.
But unfortunately, I think, and not you, but a lot of other people like fell for it hook, line, and sinker a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's part of the problem with part of the MMA space is that sometimes they fall for the headline rather than what the actual story is. And
it happens more often than you might think, unfortunately, Nick. I hate to say it.
Because I'd rather hear a good story about something that's legitimately happening rather than someone like reaching for a speculative headline.
Oh,
sometimes in MMA.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, come on, man, just give me the story. Don't over accentuate the headline, please.
Well said. With a few minutes to go, you want to keep it moving.
Yeah, let's do this. This one is just like a little bit funny and a little bit out there. So Dave Portnoy exposes a former Viceroy, but here's the issue: this is a much bigger name of a Viceroy than people.
Well, yeah, I wrote the banner like that for those of you watching the video side. I wrote the banner like that on purpose to tease that it's who you're about to mention.
So her name is Kendra Middleton. A lot of people will know that name. Some people will not. She's done work for 98.5 The Sports Hub in Boston. She's got her own podcast. I don't know which company it's for. Oh, for Action Network, which if you know Action Network, I think that's a gambling company. I think.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And she's done some other sporadic videos with sports betting companies and stuff. Well, she decided that she thought it was a great move to say, how do I block Barstool and their personalities from showing up on my algorithm? First of all, you can't do that. There's no way to do that. But a certain somebody caught light of that situation. And that was founder of the company, Dave Portnoy. And it led to a massive back and forth battle?
Yeah, but in a couple of days, it's going to be irrelevant because all it really was an expose Twitter spat. And I mean, really, there's nothing more to say other than she got called out. It's as simple as that.
She got dunked on. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, when you're begging for a job, that doesn't look good either.
No.
And then, of course, in typical Dave Portnoy fashion, what does he do? He goes finding the receipts of the Instagram DMs and posts them on social media.
Right.
And I was just like, dunk, 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 dunk. Like, you can't beat him. He will beat you every single time. If you try to expose him in any way, shape, or form. And she tries to fight him back every single people. You can't win. Just admit you can't beat him. Like,
nope.
I don't know what she was trying to gain by saying, unless she was just looking for like the intention from the social media, knowing he was going to respond. But she's got jobs. I don't understand why now all of a sudden she's like, well, block Barstool and stuff from my algorithm. Like, first of all, when someone says block stuff from my algorithm, they don't sound like an intelligent person because they don't understand how social media works. But this is just a dumb look. She's way out of bounds, in my opinion, here. And she got dunked on, and that's pretty much how this story kind of worked out. I mean, this would be like if, for example, you started writing messages to Dana White and said, you didn't give me a job and I hate you and like you don't do anything for me. And then he called you out in the process and said, here's the DMs to prove it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, or that would be like if I went to a sports radio network and I said, and I want to work for you. And then, oh, well, you said bad things about me. You can't work here. So that's pretty much the spin on that. She's wrong. And she's not going to lose her jobs or anything. Because like you were asking me before, like she still have her jobs. Yes, she still has her jobs and all that. But we'll see what happens. All right. When we come back, we'll talk about Thursday Night Football, Week 12, and we'll wrap it up. We'll be back in a second.
Hey fans, Novig is here to change the way you play. Available in 35 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and New York, Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market, and it's 10 times more profitable than traditional sports books because there's no house edge. Instead, you're betting directly against other sports fans just like yourself. Novig is also the only free exchange, which means you keep every dollar you win, whether you're putting plays down on the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, college sports, or even UFC and tennis. Novig gives you the power to pick the best odds, or better yet, set your own. Sign up today with the code ETB Network, and you'll get 1,000 Novig coins plus $5 in Novig cash, and special bonus offers like spending $5 and getting $50 back. Novig, where fans play smarter. You must be 21 years or older to play. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Empty the Bench is presented by Playback. Watching sports is more fun with others, but we spend too much of our time watching alone. Playback is a virtual space where communities can stream live sports together with everyone perfectly synced up. Creators can hop on stage, deliver their own play-by-play analysis and commentary, and invite viewers up for Q&A. Playback makes watching sports fully interactive and a social experience. From playing fantasy sports, repping your favorite players and teams, and watching with the commentators and communities you care about. Win or lose, sports are best enjoyed together. Join our community by going to playback.tv/ETB Network to find out more, including our live stream schedule. And now back to the show. All right, we are back. ETB Sports Odds presented by Novig. Let's talk about Thursday Night Football, Week 12. Bills -4.5 versus the Texans on the road. Over under 43.5. I think I'm pretty much leaning Bills this way.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a relatively easy pick. I just think Houston is not great offensively unless they're playing teams in the AFC South. And Josh Allen had a heck of a performance against Tampa Bay this past week, and I think he's going to replicate similar stuff again. I think this number should be higher than what it is. I would even take it if it was at 6, but I can say hopefully this time we'll actually be right. We've been wrong the last few weeks, but hopefully this time the Bills should be able to cover the number, even though the game is in Houston. I don't even think it matters. It's in Houston, but let's be real, it's a neutral site game because there's a retractable roof, so there's no weather factor here. So I really like the Bills.
Yeah, I like the Bills here. This one's pretty easy. Josh Allen had another record-setting game. We are technically on a winning streak because we had the 12.5 for this game. So we did have a win coming into Thursday Night Football for this week. I just think the Bills are a better team when they're firing offensively, which it seems like Josh Allen is. They got to get the defense under control. That's the biggest thing they got to get figured out. So hopefully they get that under control. And I think this is an easy cover. The over-under number means nothing because I think the spread number is low enough. So I would take the Bills to cover this game.
Yeah, take the Bills, take the money, and start your week off strong. So
yeah, so that'll do it for this episode of ETB 296. 4 episodes officially away from 300 for this show. Like I said, there is well, I shouldn't say it's a surprise. I already announced it last week. Tom is going to be back for episode 300. Then we're going to do some chronicling for episode 300 of how this show kind of came to be. So make sure you tune into that. We'll do some social media and some promos for that when that comes up. But
yeah, and just one quick programming note as well for those of you guys who haven't who are anticipating it. Be sure to tune in on Friday for Bando's Breakdowns episode 68. More interviews to come. A recap of UFC 322. We'll talk about everything in regards to Big Ten football. Preview Illinois' road trip to Wisconsin and so much more. So it's the shameless plug to not miss episode 68, as these episodes are only going to continue to get bigger and better as the year rounds out. So stay tuned for episode 68 this upcoming Friday because it's another can't miss. So
yeah, BB's going to have interviews up the wazoo in the next couple of weeks. So make sure you tune in. You and I are really pushing those out. So
we're trying to.
And there might be a really big name potentially soon.
Potentially, yes. Don't want to reveal it too much, but he's a name that for those of you who have been in the combat sports space for a while, it's going to be a draw. It's going to be a jaw dropper if it actually occurs. So,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Chandler was a huge name in the space for sure, but this one is big.
Yeah.
But make sure you like and subscribe. YouTube.com/ETB Network. As we continue to grow, we need to hit those YouTube hours so we can really hit the ground running with monetization. We have some show stuff that we're going to be announcing that is going to start next year in 2026. So you'll hear that in the next couple weeks. Programming notes also. This show will be off Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
Like most of the shows will be, except for Football Forecast and probably Forever Power 5.
Yeah, and for those of you who are wondering about my short form stuff, that will be there. So you'll get extended blitzes, an extended blitz that week in place of an episode, and maybe a little bit of a longer zinger based on if there's anything to talk about for a longer period. Then I will do that. So
yeah, so Thanksgiving week, network essentially goes dark. Playback stuff will continue, but our whole network will be off. That gives everybody a week off to kind of recover, and it allows us to get Football Forecast and Forever Power 5 through much quicker. So make sure you tune into all of that. Listen also to Empty the Bench wherever you get your podcasts, like every other ETB Network show on Acast and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, everything. We are available. So if you can't watch the videos or you don't feel like watching the videos, take us on the go wherever you listen. Some people have told me. Some people have told me they listen to our show while jogging. I've had people tell me that.
That's awesome. Before. The one person who always listens in, he doesn't watch it, but he listens to the show, He always does it on his lunch break at work. So whatever works best for you, well, specifically for my show, I'm not sure about this one, but nonetheless, though, whatever works for you, I keep doing it because it helps us out all out. And with that said, because we're a little bit tired now,
Yeah.
we will see you all next week. Have a good one, everyone.
Yeah. Have a good week. We'll see you next week. Episode 297. As I said, a couple episodes away from 300. We will see you then. Have a good week, everybody.